What's up, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here, back with the playoffs of our 2014 Oakland Raiders season. Today's pretty much going to be simple. We're just going to kind of simulate through the playoffs and see who wins everything. Staff re-signing, we can do that here. Re-sign staff. It's been a long time coming. People have been asking for it. It was always in the plan. I just didn't want to do it in the middle of the first season. That didn't make too much sense to me. But Dennis Allen, I'm sorry, man. We're going to try to find our own coach here. Scout, he's only level 1. I'm not a big fan of level 1 scouts. I really want guys that can make a difference. Doesn't look like I can fire him on this screen, though. Level 13 trainer really doesn't seem to cost that much. We're going to fire him, though. I want to bring in my own staff. Now, why can I not fire you? I'd like to fire you. Can I fire you? I want a better scout. I want a better scout. How do I do it? Alright, maybe I can fire him a little bit later. We'll focus on all that in the future, though. Let's see, wait, what was that? Chief Scout? Well, anyway, moving forward, let's go ahead and look at the schedule around the league here, guys. Team schedule and league schedule. Obviously, we do not have any more games, but we have a lot of important games coming up in our league. The Kansas City Chiefs will be at Pittsburgh for their wild card game. The Seahawks at the Saints. The Jets at the Texans. And the Buccaneers at the 49ers. If you know me and you know my channel, you know I'm a 49er fan. So since we are not in the wild card or the playoffs here, the 49ers are my team. I really hope they take it all. So let's go ahead. I think we might have to go back this way to simulate that first set of games. We will also be paying attention to the stats of the games as we go forward. Advance week, ready to advance. We're not going to sim to the Super Bowl or anything like that. We're going to take it week by week, look at the stats from all the games, see what players are playing well. That could be play a big role in free agency. If I see some guy stepping up in a big playoff game, I might try to sign him if he is a free agent. So definitely a lot of things to keep an eye on throughout this week. Let's go ahead back to the schedule here. League schedule. And we're going to go up here to the wild card really fast and look at it this way. Kansas City Chiefs went into Pittsburgh and won 24-3. That is crazy. A big win for our division. It's not great to see our division teams win. We really want to kind of have that trash talking right over them. But at the same time, you want to be in a good division. You want to stand out in a good division. So I am kind of happy they won. Alex Smith out-dueling Roethlisberger here. Smith with only 169 passing yards to Roethlisberger's 270, but he threw a touchdown. Roethlisberger threw an interception. Rushing, Jamal Charles and Joe McKnight just absolutely tore the Steelers' defense alive. Even Alex Smith had more rushing yards than Le'Veon Bell. That is crazy. The Chiefs' defense was unbelievable in stopping the run throughout this game, and as you can tell, that's what made a huge difference. Wow, that's crazy. I would not have expected that. Antonio Brown leading the way in receptions. Le'Veon Bell and Lance Moore behind him. So the Steelers definitely had a better passing attack, but they didn't get into the end zone. That's huge. Donnie Avery and the Chiefs did. Blocking defense. Let's see if any... who got the interception here? Who got the pick? And it was Joe Mays, the middle linebacker. All right, interesting. And I believe we saw all the touchdowns and all those stats. So moving forward... The Seahawks and the... Oh, wait, no. Well, now we know the Seahawks beat the Saints 38-31. That was a close game, a high-scoring game. Get 31 points on that Seahawks defense. Obviously, the Saints have a very high-powered offense. But Russell Wilson looks like he got hurt early in this game, which brought Tavares Jackson into the game. That's pretty crazy. Now, Wilson does not have that little injury mark next to him, so I'm assuming he's going to be available for the next game. Either way, that's pretty crazy that Tavares Jackson led the Seahawks to the win and actually outdueled Drew Brees. Very crazy. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Brees with 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rushing the ball, Marshawn Lynch, as expected, leading the game. 88 yards, only 4.4 yards a carry. Ingram got a touchdown for the Saints, and Michael got a touchdown for the Seahawks there. I don't think we're going to have any more down there. We do not. Receiving the ball, this is where a lot of the touchdowns were. Robert Meacham, who has had an incredible season for the Saints, obviously leading the way. 10 receptions, 117 yards. In terms of touchdowns, Jimmy Graham, Marcus Colston, Percy Harvin, Sidney Rice, and Marshawn Lynch, all with receiving touchdowns in the game. Defensively, Irvin leading the way with 4. Look at all the Seahawks with tackles. 4 players with over 10 tackles. That is crazy. The Saints must have had the ball quite frequently. It's kind of shocking that they did not end up getting the win here. Interceptions, and there we go. So, wow. The defensive end making the big play there. All right. Moving forward, Jets and Texans. The Jets, another high-scoring game here. 34-27. The Jets are going to get the win over the Texans. That's pretty crazy. Geno Smith leading the way. And that is crazy that the Jets got the victory with Fitzpatrick outdueling Geno Smith with 3 touchdowns. They each had an interception, but wow. So we know the Jets are going to have a lot of rushing touchdowns here, and sure enough, they do. Not a whole lot of yards on the ground either way there, but as you can see, 4 rushing touchdowns for the Jets. Powell with 2, Chris Ivory with 1, and Geno Smith with 1. And their run game was very effective in the red zone, clearly. Touchdowns, receiving, these are all going to be Houston Texans player Mike Thomas with 1, DeAndre Hopkins with 1, and Andre Johnson with 1. Defensively, we know there are a few interceptions. Quentin Groves with 18 tackles. I didn't look at the sacks in the first game. We might have to go back and check that out. Sheldon Richardson, nice. And Clowney getting a sack as well in his postseason debut. Interceptions, we have Cushing and Calvin Pryor, the rookie, with an interception. Very nice for his postseason debut as well. I do want to go check the sacks from that first game. I forgot to do that. Let's check that out very quickly. Again, just in case there's a player available to us in free agency, I'd like to find the guys that are contributing in the playoffs here. And only 1 sack. All right, interesting. So last and final wild card game here, we got the 49ers and the Buccaneers, 24-41. That a boy, Niners. I like it. A blowout victory here, 424 yards on the day. Colin Kaepernick threw for 281, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mike Glennon, who has had an outstanding season for the Buccaneers, 257 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And there was another interception thrown, I believe. What is this? Wow, so McCown, I don't know if it was a trick play or if Glennon went out with an injury. He only had 1 attempt. It must have been a trick play, a fake field goal or something, but he threw an interception on the play. Frank Gore, 113 yards, the ageless wonder, getting it done. He also had a rushing touchdown. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the rushing touchdowns here because it looks like there's quite a few. Mike James with 2 for the Buccaneers. Colin Kaepernick with 2 for the Niners. He only had 3 rushes for 10 yards, but 2 of those went into the end zone. Frank Gore with a touchdown. He also had a fumble. That's not good to see. Luke Stalker leading the way in receptions. Mike Evans, the rookie, behind him. Let's look at touchdowns here. And Luke Stalker with 1, and Michael Crabtree with a touchdown. In terms of defense, Goldson, the former 49er, going against his old team there with 11 tackles. Sacks, let's check this out. Corey Lemon-Waugh with 2 sacks. I love it. Oh, that a boy, man. Second-year player I like a lot. Interceptions, Tremaine Brock with 2. Boley with 1, and Chris Culliver with an interception. Fumbles forced. We haven't looked at this in any of the other games, but I know there was at least 1 fumble here. So Boley also forcing a fumble, and McCray forcing a fumble, and they each recovered the one they forced, it looks like, unless they recovered the one the other guy forced. But either way, interesting. Did they have a defensive touchdown? No. Okay. Moving on. Time to go to the divisional round, guys. Let's back out of here and advance another week and see what we got ahead of us. Big win by the 49ers. Obviously, I like that a lot. Advanced week, ready to advance. We're not going to look at the storylines a whole lot during this, so I don't imagine too much is going on. Probably just reporting what we're reading anyway with the stats there. Staff hiring. Okay, this is going to be good. So I can get into this now. We will focus on this. The 49ers and Seahawks meeting in the NFC Championship game once again. That rivalry is insane, and I love every bit of it. Make staff offers here. Let's see what we got. So we got a world-class trainer. Definitely something that could play a big role. You know, our team stumbled greatly when Derek Carr went down with an injury. So if we have a better trainer, we might get our players back sooner. That could be very, very huge. A level 30 scout. This is what I want. He only wants $150,000 for 3 years, but I want to make sure I get him. I don't have a whole lot to offer in terms of a good team for him to go to. Granted, at a scout position, you would think the only thing he'd care about was money. However, I've played this game before. I know that offering a guy more money doesn't necessarily always get it done, so I'm going to overbid on him here. I'll offer him twice what he's looking for. I like that. He's a level 30 scout. That's going to be huge in terms of bringing good draft picks to our team. So we'll make that offer. And hopefully we can outbid the Broncos and the Giants with this role here. Now, granted, if he goes to the Broncos, we lost him to an division rival. That's not good. We got another scout here. Now, he's an offensive specialist, but again, I really want to focus on defense. World class, again, all these coaches, I want the best. So I will offer him 30 or 300,000 as well. I might have said 30,000 before with the other guy, but yeah, we're going to overbid on these players, guys. I don't mind. I'm still worried I'm not going to get them, honestly. I know their desired contract doesn't look like much, but again, we've been through this before. It doesn't always work out for us. In terms of coaches, let's go over here. And Thomas Single, who was our coach in our previous Jaguars series. I would love to bring him in. Now, he wants a lot of money, and if you look at our funds, guys, we don't have a whole lot to work with. That worries me, because if I sign a really good coach here, we could potentially be losing out on the ability to get a lot of free agents. Our only team we're going against is the Rams, so if I can offer him a better contract, the Rams aren't necessarily a very desirable team either. And this could really handicap us in terms of trying to sign free agents. The one good thing I have going for me, though, is the fact that some free agents actually will not sign with the team during the offseason, and I might be able to snag one or two right before the preseason begins. We'll make this offer. I'd really like to get him. I don't know that I'm going to. We'll see what happens. If not, we can focus on Demetrius Turner. But I want that 3-4 defense, and he has an attacking defensive scheme, 3-4 scheme there. So without him, I might skip over Demetrius Turner and go down to Ryan Mack here. That's another possibility. Jeff Fisher, a guy I like a lot. That's interesting to see him there. He obviously has the experience in the NFL, a very good coach. And I think it's weird that these guys all have a higher level than Jeff Fisher. I don't know what that is, if they're saying these guys were successful college coaches or what. But Jeff Fisher's a proven commodity in the NFL with those Titans teams. Anyway, we advanced the week. We made our offers here. Let's go and check out all of the stats after that divisional round of the playoffs league schedule. And we know the 49ers and Seahawks won, the Chiefs and Patriots won. So let's check this out. Chiefs at Denver. 24-20. The Chiefs are getting a win. The two division teams there. And that's interesting to see that Peyton Manning got outdueled by Alex Smith. 3 touchdowns for Alex Smith, only 1 for Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning did have more yards, though. Jamal Charles once again leading the way. Joe McKnight once again second on the list. And that Chiefs defense has been brutal against the run. Monte Ball only 2.9 yards a carry, 38 yards on the ground for him. Unbelievable defense by the Chiefs. And if they can continue that play, they could very well win the Super Bowl. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Rushing touchdowns, I forgot to look. Anderson got one. It looks like he was the only player he is. Receiving touchdowns, Dwayne Bowe with 2, Wes Welker with 1, and Donnie Avery with 1. Defense, Derek Johnson leading the way in tackles. We knew that was coming. Sacks, Von Miller with 1, and DeMarcus Ware with 1. Interceptions, Derek Johnson getting an interception too. This guy's making plays all over the field. Any fumbles? I doubt it. We'll check it out anyway. Alright, so moving forward, on to the next game in our list here. We got the Seahawks and the Vikings. The Seahawks winning 24-10. The Vikings, who had an incredible season, falling in their first preseason game. That is unfortunate for them. Russell Wilson, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Castle with 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. 302 yards to 309 yards respectively. Marshawn Lynch leading the way on the ground over Adrian Peterson. Now, Peterson actually had more yards to carry. It's interesting they did not go to him more. Instead, they went with Banyard a lot. I don't know. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. At least I didn't say Barnyard like earlier in the season. Anyway, very interesting that they are splitting carries when they have the best running back in the NFL. I don't understand that. It is what it is, though, and it led to a loss for him. Michael, once again, getting into the end zone for the Seahawks there receiving. Let's see who's getting the touchdowns. Percy Harvin with 1. Now, Adrian Peterson had 95 yards on only 3 catches, a long of 68. That is huge. He got a touchdown. And then Marshawn Lynch, who had a 66-yard catch, got a touchdown as well. Big game for the running backs in the receiving game there. Brinkley from South Carolina leading the game in tackles. Wagner and Irvin behind him. Sacks, let's check it out. 2 sacks for Averill. I know I pronounced that wrong earlier. Maybe I pronounced it wrong again. Averill. I don't know. I apologize if I got it wrong. I don't know. Bobby Wagner with a sack and Griffin with a sack as well. Interceptions, Bobby Wagner with one and Earl Thomas III with one. Fumbles forced, again, we'll check it out. You know, it's not a huge stat that we see a lot of necessarily in Madden, but it is what it is. Jets and Patriots, the low-scoring game here, 7-10. The Patriots are going to get the victory over Geno Smith and the Jets. Tom Brady, 170 yards, 2 interceptions. Geno Smith, 145 yards and 2 interceptions. A huge defensive game from both teams, but more so the Jets defense, because you expect Tom Brady to go off. You don't necessarily expect Geno Smith to go off. Ridley with the touchdown and Powell with the touchdown. Powell had a fumble too, so we will check that out. Julian Edelman leading the game in catches, touchdowns. Oh, we already knew there weren't any passing touchdowns. Allen leading the way in tackles, sacks. We got Ninkovic. I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize. Sheldon Richardson with a sack as well. Interceptions. We know there are 4 of these. 2 for Browner. Very cool. Big signing for the Patriots defense coming over from the Seahawks. That 6'4" size is huge. Walls with an interception and Calvin Pryor with an interception. He had one last week too, so the rookie very much stepping up in his first postseason with 2 interceptions. And fumbles forced. We know there was at least one. Will Smith forcing the fumble, getting jiggy with it, indeed, sir. And it didn't look like they recovered the fumble there. And last but certainly not least, the 49ers at the Redskins. The Redskins had a huge season, but it is not going to be enough against this 49ers team who has really stepped up here in the postseason. 37-19, another blowout victory for the Niners in the postseason here. And player stats, we got Colin Kaepernick throwing for 4 touchdowns. Robert Griffin III, 1 touchdown to 4 interceptions. Kaepernick, a huge game, and the 49ers defense stepping up big time. Again, I love it all. Frank Gore, though, oh gosh, I don't see that injury thing. He might have just been injured for the game. He could be out longer. So Carlos Hyde stepped up. Really didn't do that well, though. Only 2.8 yards a carry. Not what you would expect to see from a 49ers running back there. Doesn't look like there were any rushing touchdowns in this game. Receiving Pierre Garçon, Jordan Reed, and Andre Roberts leading the way in catches. Jordan Reed had the 1 touchdown for the Redskins. Vernon Davis with 2 touchdowns. Crabtree with the touchdown, and Anquan Bolden with the touchdown. The 3 names you would expect to step up for the 49ers, all doing exactly that. Akeem Jordan leading the way in tackles. And during the game, Navarro Bowman right behind him. Oh, I meant to do sacks. I apologize. Sacks, Corey Lemonois, another one. I like it. Stephen Bowen with a sack as well. And Justin Smith, Cowboy, the beast with the sack. Interceptions. We know there are a lot coming, guys. Chris Culliver with 2. Tremaine Brock with 1. And Chris Cook with 1. Stepping up big time. The 49ers defense there. I love every bit of it. On to the postseason conference. I don't know why says that. Conference finals. We got the Chiefs at the Patriots and the Seahawks at the 49ers. Last week, these 2 teams met. Last season, these two teams met. I apologize. And we know how that ended. The 49ers lost on one of the last plays of the game. But that was in Seattle. This one's in San Francisco. Hopefully they can redeem themselves. That would be huge, and we will also advance the week and see if we signed any of these coaches. I don't know if they're going to make their decision in 1 week or not, but we will see. That would be very big for us. I'd love to get these guys. And here we go. Hired single, we got him, and we hired the level 30 scout. That is huge. So we got 2 big players again. I love it, and we're getting more funds to work with here as we go. So I like that a lot as well. It does not look like that we got a trainer yet. So we're going to have to go back and look at that. Back to schedule here. And nobody peek. I think it's just going to show us the Pro Bowl anyway, actually. So we could be safe. They're not going to look at the Super Bowl yet. All right, so we got the Patriots and the 49ers. That a boy redemption. I love it. Let's check out the stats of the Chiefs and Patriots first. Would have been cool to see a team from our division make the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen, especially in Alex Smith versus 49ers matchup. That would have been awesome to watch. But instead, Tom Brady and the Patriots are going to get the win as expected. Tom Brady, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Alex Smith, 2 touchdowns to go to 3 interceptions. That's unfortunate. Shane Vereen with a great game for the Patriots. 10.3 yards a carry. That's crazy. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns. Jamal Charles behind him. So that great Kansas City rushing defense that we've seen throughout the postseason not really holding up strong against the Patriots here. Only 3.4 yards a carry for Ridley. But when you give up that many yards on only 9 carries to a running back, it's definitely not good. And he had a long of 74. So without that carry, they actually did okay. But giving up that big play was a difference maker in this game, clearly. Brandon LaFell leading the way in catches. Touchdowns, let's see what we got here. Danny Amendola with 2, Donnie Avery with 1, Edelman with 1, and Joe McKnight with 1. Defensively, a lot of interceptions in this game. Mayo with 1, Devin McCourty with 1, Denard with 1, and Chris Owens with 1. Any fumbles throughout this game? Let's check it out. Does not look like it. Moving forward to the rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. Seahawks and the 49ers. See what we got here, guys. Player stats. And a duel between Russell Wilson and Colin Kaepernick. Wilson actually won the matchup here. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Kaepernick had 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. Rushing the ball, Frank Gore was a tank, though. 106 yards, 4.6 yards a carry. And Marshawn Lynch struggled against this 49ers defense. Only 3.1 yards a carry. Touchdowns. I see a name down here, guys. Carlos Hyde, the rookie, getting into the end zone. And Marcus Lattimore, back from his injury, got a touchdown in a huge game. We do see a fumble here for Hyde. We're going to have to look into that. And a lot of receiving touchdowns here. Michael Crabtree with 2. Doug Baldwin, a guy I actually like a lot, even though he is a Seahawk, with 1. Sidney Rice with 1. Vernon Davis with 1. And Marshawn Lynch with 1. Defense, let's check it out. We know there was 1 interception. Let's see how many sacks. Bobby Wagner with 15 tackles in the game and a sack. Navarro Bowman also had a sack. The 1 interception was from Byron Maxwell here. And let's check out the fumbles forced. We know there was 1, and he recovered it too. So huge game from Benson Mayowa. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know, though. So we do have our Pro Bowl, guys. Again, this is going to be another longer episode. These have been running longer and longer, but that's okay. Awards, let's check out the Pro Bowl teams here. So we got Joe Montana and Marshall Faulk. Obviously, I'm Team Joe over here. Let's see what we got. Breeze and Manning, Robert Griffin III, Tom Brady, Mike Glennon, and Matt Castle. Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles, Frank Gore, that a boy. Joe Montana selecting his 49ers. He knows what's up. And Matt Forte, Shady McCoy, Marshawn Lynch. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I know he's a very good fullback. I'm just not even going to try. But Marcel Reese for the Raiders making the Pro Bowl. I love it. And Doran Dickerson is his backup. We actually had him, and we had to cut him because I just did not have the roster spot for him. And as you can see, he is now an 88 overall player. He must have had a killer season. And am I making so we can't sign him like I was actually planning on doing? Because I want to move Reese to tight end, and I was going to sign Dickerson, hopefully. That's not going to happen, though. Great season for Doran Dickerson. I like it. I'm happy for him. And again, another fullback whose name I cannot pronounce. I apologize. Robert Meacham and Wes Welker at wide receiver. Colston and Thomas. Calvin Johnson and Brandon LaFell making the list. Pierre Garçon, Alshon Jeffrey, Keenan Allen, and Julio Jones, Torrey Smith, and AJ Green. And Jace Amaro, the rookie, into the Pro Bowl his rookie season. That's huge. And Julian Thomas over there. Vernon Davis making it with Jimmy Graham and Jordan Reeb and Gronkowski. Joe Staley, Williams, Solder, Claddy. I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly now. See Iupati on the other side there. See if we have any names that stand out to us. Trying to read it pretty quickly as we go down this list. Do we have another guy? Oh, we have Sims. I like it. Sims makes the Pro Bowl. And another one of our players there. Let's see if we have a third as we go down. Does not look like it. Patrick Willis. Oh, come on, Joe Montana. You got to select Patrick Willis. Oh, that's all right, though. Anybody else on our team? Did I go over? I feel like I probably went over somebody that we had, but I missed it. Marcus Cooper for the Chiefs. I do like that selection a whole lot. And it doesn't look like we're going to have another. And this is shocking. I definitely thought Janikowski would have made the Pro Bowl. He did win Best Kicker in the AFC. And punter, okay, Marquette King is over there. Okay, I almost missed him. I was looking on that left side. So Marquette King, of course, he made it. Gio Bernard, I love it. So we have more players on Marshall Faulk's team, I believe. But I got to go with Team Joe Montana. I have to. So, yep, those are the rosters for the Pro Bowl there. A little bit difficult to kind of see who's who from previous seasons. Schedule, is it going to let me watch the Pro Bowl? I don't think it is. Not watch it, but at least simulate it. It doesn't look like it. Now, let's go to our news and see if it'll show us that way. We'll give it a shot here. Alright, so we're going to have to advance to the Super Bowl. Or is that advancing everything? I don't know. We already viewed the teams for the Pro Bowl. That might be simulating everything. Super Bowl week. Oh, no, it's Super Bowl week now. Alright, here we go. Who won the Pro Bowl? Jonathan Woods takes home the All-Star Game MVP after his 19... Oh, that's a draft story. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's check these out. Jonathan Woods takes home the All-Star Game MVP after his 19-tackle performance. That's somebody to keep an eye on. Right in, Benton Lofton had a big All-Star game, blowing up Polk on several plays and finished with 3 sacks. Wow. Somebody else to look out for. Rich Lunsford flirts with baseball career, plummets down draft boards as a result. All right. Could be a late round selection that we can get to potentially back up Derek Carr. Ivan Guy came into the All-Star game as a fill-in, but left with one of the most impressive performances of the week. We will be scouting all of these players, guys, from protector to instigator. Bronson Skinner is hoping to get drafted as a defensive lineman. I think we've already seen that. We have seen those. Okay, cool. We have more scouting. We'll get into that in a second. I still need a team trainer, though. Looks like we missed out on our first selection. Let's double check. Offer rejected. We did. Alright, so we have another option here. And let's make an offer. You know, we'll more than double what he's looking for. See if we can seduce him, as all these other teams are going for him as well. So we definitely want him to come to Los Angeles with us and join our new coaching staff. Scouting, we'll get into all that next episode. Now, is it going to show me who won the, no, that's all that. It's not going to show me who won the Pro Bowl. Really? I want to see who won the Pro Bowl. What if I scroll down over here? Is it going to say anything? Does not look like it. Oh. So we can transfer positions now. So let's do that. Now, I had a concern. Man, this episode's going a lot longer than I thought. I had a concern about this, guys, because some said not to put Reese at tight end because he's a little bit short for a tight end. He's 6'1". He doesn't necessarily have the hands of a tight end. But I really do kind of want him to be more involved in our offense, and he would definitely have that opportunity at tight end. Now let's see if I can change it. Edit player. Oh, it's not going to let me? Did I miss it? Did I miss the opportunity? I might have missed that opportunity. That would be silly if it's in such a weird bye week like that. The other one was switching Woodley to linebacker position. Okay, we can still move it. I just cannot move Reese. And it's not going to let me move Woodley either. That's very unfortunate. I don't know why it's not letting me change him to a linebacker. That's what I was trying to do. And I can't change Reese's position. That's very interesting. Was there anybody else that I really wanted to change? I feel like there probably was, but I can't remember who. Well, then I wonder if I can change Harris to linebacker. I don't know that I necessarily want to put Harris as a linebacker. He had a great rookie season where he was at. Nope. Got to stay on that defensive end spot. That's really weird. I wonder what that is. Alright, anyway. Moving forward, I guess, since I can't do that, we'll try again later in the offseason, but we need to go ahead and advance and get this episode over with. So advanced week, Super Bowl. Let's go Niners. Let's do it, baby. Oh man, I would love to see the Niners get that 6th Super Bowl title. I mean, we've fallen short so many years in a row, man. I can't believe our window is still open even in this game. In real life, I'm not so sure. But in this game, they're doing okay. The 49ers deliver their owner the greatest of victories. That a boy, Niners. I love every minute of that. Let's go ahead and check out the box score, guys. Oh, that's awesome. I love it all. I love it all. Let's see what we got here, and that will be the end of this episode. After that, oh, no. There we go. 36-31, a high-scoring game here. The 49ers offense delivered enough to win. Kaepernick, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tom Brady, 387 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. The 49ers defense in the Super Bowl was huge in terms of causing turnovers. Frank Gore, 4.2 yards a carry, only 84 yards, and Vereen actually had 2 touchdowns. He only had 2.1 yards a carry, though. But big game for him. Frank Gore had a fumble. We'll have to check that out. Gronkowski leading the way. 11 catches, 112 yards. Look at all these. 119 yards for Aaron Dobson. 139 yards for Michael Crabtree. A lot of big plays in this game. Aaron Dobson with the touchdown. Crabtree with the touchdown. Brandon LaFell with the touchdown. And Vernon Davis with the touchdown. Defense. Patrick Willis leading the way with 15 tackles. I love it. Sacks. Only 1 sack. Corey Lenoir, he had a huge postseason for us. And I have not seen Aldon Smith at all in any of these games. And he is playing, so he just was not getting the sacks. He might have been replaced by Corey over here. Interesting stat there. Interceptions. 2 interceptions for Tremaine Brock in the Super Bowl. That is huge. Eric Reed getting an interception with Navarro Bowman. Devin McCourty and Darrelle Revis for the Patriots getting the interceptions. And we know there was a fumble as well. I didn't mean to do that. Fumbles forced. Browner forcing a fumble and Chris Cook forced a fumble. And it looked like they each recovered their own. Kicking, let's see how it went. Gostkowski, the only field goal kicked in the game. Punting, kick returns. We'll check that out. No touchdowns. And there you have it, guys. The 49ers, your Super Bowl champions. And that is going to be it for this episode, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button. And next up, we have the much-anticipated offseason, guys. I'm incredibly excited. I cannot wait to get into all that. And, yeah, I will see you guys there. Later.